Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to a recap of night number 50 of Big Brother season 25. Night number 50. We're halfway there, guys. Can you believe it? As much as has happened in the house, it seems like they've been playing this game forever, but we still have a lot of game left to go. So, welcome to night number 50. Not the craziest of nights. People are getting ready for the eviction this evening. Now, remember, we've got America and Cameron on the block. As I predicted, there was a little bit of talk about maybe trying to flip this thing, getting America out, but I don't think the votes are there. I fully expect to see Cameron walk out the door this evening. The big question is going to be then who walks out the door behind him, because we do have the double eviction tonight. It's looking like it most likely would be Jared, unless he was to win veto or Sari won HOH. Probably Jared, if not him, most likely Sari. After that, who knows? And then we got a little twist thrown in last night with a message, which we're going to talk about, that coming from the scary verse, I believe. So we'll talk about that as well. So let's get into the feeds themselves as everyone's getting ready for this evening, celebrating halfway through the season as well inside the house. So let's start off with a conversation we had between Jared and Felicia and Matt and Jag. Jag is saying that he now suspects a double this week. Yeah, Felicia's been pushing this for a while. Now Jag is thinking as well. They just can't keep secrets in that house, can they? I don't think production gave them a heads up or anything like that. I think they're just looking at things, figuring, seeing weird things going on in the house and thinking something must be up this evening. So they're thinking now maybe it is going to be a double after all. We've got Jared talking about Cameron having an ability to manipulate people, which he just doesn't think that America and Corey have. In other words, even though it seems like the vote's pretty well decided, Jag is still pushing why it's important to go ahead and get Cameron out the door. So he mentions that there's talk about the house potentially splitting this season. I remember last season they had, was it Dryer Fest, and whatever the one inside was. The house split up into two. The guys on the outside had nothing but sandwiches and just a miserable life. The other people inside lived it up big. They're thinking they could have something similar like that happen, having happened tonight, this evening, going into the next week. Why is that? It's just little things like the fact that the storage room hasn't been restocked with food yet, which makes them think maybe they're waiting for something big to happen. Felicia's worried that she could end up outside without having anything but sandwiches to eat, nothing to cook, not thinking that she wants to be outdoors if that turns out the case. So they are thinking about a split house occurring. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we don't know yet either. They've got that. They base this just on, in part, the fact that the storage room hadn't been stocked. It doesn't take much inside this house. Just a little tweak by Big Brother, get all kinds of paranoia taking place. Now, talking about the actual gameplay, the strategy, evictions, things like that. Jared's talking to this group and he's saying, look, I know if America or Corey wins HOH that I could be in a bad place. It's not going to be great. Of course, he also says at one point that he doesn't think that they'll go after him. I don't know why he thinks that. Corey told him that they weren't going to go after Jared. Yeah, he's lying. But Jared doesn't think they'll go after him, but he still thinks he could be in a rough spot if either Corey or America won HOH. But he thinks it's all right anyway. He says, look, even if that's the case, as long as I've got this group in here, Felicia, Matt, and Jag, as long as I've got y'all guys, I'm still good. I should still be fine. Well, let's talk about that later this evening, Jared. You may find out very quickly that isn't quite the case. But he is mentioning that Matt and Jag are really playing along with Jared, talking about how tight they are with Jared, kind of throwing Corey and America under the bus a little bit, doing a brilliant job of really letting Jared think that he still has the house. He still has a majority. These guys are still part of the 7 deadly sins. Yeah, not so much. So they're playing their role right now. Jared is laughing at Corey, saying, Corey tried to make this big move. It screwed him over when he did it. He's not going to be trying that again. So Jared's thinking Corey's kind of gotten backed into the corner because of everything that happened last Thursday. I'm not sure that Corey came out of that as bad as Jared thinks he did. But he's thinking about that. All right, after Jared eventually leaves the HOH, Jared's own HOH, he leaves, and the people up there that are left behind are plotting against Jared in his own HOH room. Because, yes, after Jared leaves, we got Felicia quickly saying that, look, Jared is just too comfortable right now. It's amazing. His game is on the line. He is too comfortable thinking everything is just going to work out fine. She's asking Matt and Jag, saying, are y'all going to put up Jared and Cirie? Jag is saying, look, I don't trust Cirie. She's villainizing other people in the house, which Felicia certainly understands and agrees with. So Jag is saying, yeah, you know, those two, Cirie's doing her fair share also. Matt is actually talking, thinking that Jared is a bigger threat than Cirie in the house right now because of his ability to win competitions. But Felicia is just the opposite. Felicia is saying, yeah, but Cirie's the mastermind. She's the brains behind everything that's going on. That's more important. So there's still a little bit of conversation about if things go correctly tonight at the double, if Cirie and Jared end up on the block, who's voting out who? It's going to be such a whirlwind. The house may not have a chance to all get together and decide which way they're going to go. You may have a bit of a split between Jared and Cirie. I think Jared goes home, though, between those two. Felicia may vote for Cirie. I think most others will probably vote out Jared. All right, a few other conversations taking place earlier in the evening. Corey talking to Bowie Jane. They're riding the bikes together, and Corey tells Bowie Jane that she is his number 2, right behind America. But he's just like that with her. So he's trying to make sure he's got Bowie Jane as close as possible. At one point, Jag comes in, and they try to get him on the bikes as well. And he said, yeah, just eating all that. And they're making fun of him, saying, yeah, you're planning to throw the competition tomorrow night anyway. That's why you're not biking. They're just kidding with him. But, there has been some talk about who would really want to fight for this HOH, who would throw this HOH. We'll see what kind of HOH it is this evening. But yeah, Corey's told Bowie that he is her number 2 right behind America. We've got Cameron still campaigning. He's not going to go down without a fight. He's up in the HOH room talking to Jared. I think Matt and Jag and maybe Felicia are up there as well. He's talking about the fact that he needs some extra votes, that he knows Jared's going to be the tiebreaker. I think the votes he's assuming that he needs to get would be Felicia and Nicole and Bowie Jane and Cirie. He needs at least 4 votes, then Jared can break the tie. So he's campaigning to Jared. I just don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but he's giving it a good try. But here's the thing. If somehow he had Jared on board, Jared started working and trying to get those votes as well, I see a route where that would actually help Jared quite a bit and maybe save Jared for the second half of the double. If he had those people on board, if they sent out America instead of Cameron, and then maybe he has Cameron's support as well. I see an alternate path that could benefit him, but I don't think it's going to happen. All right, we've got Jag and Felicia talking to each other. Both of them are agreeing that if Jared and Cirie are on the block, that Jared needs to go first. So even though Felicia earlier talked about, Cirie maybe needing to go, I think she's also maybe going to vote with everyone else. So forget what I just said about split. It sounds like if they're both on the block, it could be overwhelming Jared. All right, we got feeds. The feeds did cut away yesterday afternoon. At the time, thought maybe they're going to have a halfway through party and all that. Nah, it doesn't seem like that was the case. The feeds cut away. When they return, we've got Jag and Matt and Blue and America all talking about a message, about a transmission that they received. I guess it came from the Scaryverse. We didn't see it. The feeds were cut. So we're having to rely on these house guests trying to remember what was said. It's a bit of a memory deal. Could it have something to do with the HOH competition tonight? Some type of a memory comp? Maybe, but they only had one message. And normally when you have something like that, you get messages throughout the entire evening. So I don't know that's going to be the case. Probably has a lot more to do with the twist. And I listened. I tried to figure out what this thing was. But again, every house guest has a slightly different version of what they heard. I heard beware the place with a B, and then Z letters. It sounds like it was a message that a few letters were in place, but there were a lot of letters that were missing. So they're trying to fill in the blanks. There's talk that it could be zombies. A lot of people, Nicole and Jag in particular, kind of settled on zombies being one of the words. Message or something like, B blank, Z blank, 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 T blank, E blank, O blank, BB blank, ZO blank. A lot of different versions, and I've tried the game, the puzzle myself, and I haven't been able to figure it out because, again, a few different versions out there. The best conclusion that I heard after they went all afternoon, evening talking about it, I think it was Jag that maybe had come up with thinking the phrase could be something like "BB zombies are coming to shift the something." So that's kind of the thinking right now, and that's leading them to think that Jag saying he thinks maybe the two people evicted could be, if it is a double, that you could get the last two people evicted, that they battle it out to see who comes back. So kind of a mini battle back. Or maybe the eviction could be reversed this evening. Whoever they vote out stays, the other person goes home. Wouldn't that be horrible? I'd be so mad if that happened and I was in that house. There's a lot of different theories from the house guys. That Jag at one point does think one of the words says eviction. So everything they're thinking has something to do with tonight's eviction. We'll find out. We're going to be surprised just like everyone else. All right, we've got Corey talking to America in blue. He's saying he thinks it's going to be some kind of battle back. Well, we know most of these house guests so far have already talked to Julie and are not coming back into the house. It is possible that Cameron and whoever goes out second could still have some kind of little battle back. We'll see. But Corey thinks that's what it's going to be. Corey is saying that Cameron is thinking that it has some kind of twist to do with America, not in the house, but the viewing public. America, the viewing public, getting to vote to maybe bring someone back in. And Cameron's pretty sure that he would be the one that would get voted to come back in because he's had the most screen time, made the most moves. So he's pretty comfortable that there may still be an opportunity for him to stick around in the house. They're also talking about the fact maybe this is why there's no eviction plan for Thursday. The TV schedule is all wonky next week. And so they know that. They've been told that. And so they're wondering about that as well. I do wonder how much production told them. My own experience, we didn't get squat. Yeah, sometimes we were told when the show would be live or not live, or if it was going to happen an hour early or later. But they certainly never told us what was going to be in any of those episodes. I don't think they've been told a lot. They're just making conclusions based on past seasons and what they're guessing and all of that. All right, now we do have Corey telling Jared that he doesn't think the message should affect tonight, the eviction. He's saying, yeah, I think we're still going to evict Cameron just as always. I don't think it'll have any effect on that. But he said it may mean that someone's returning. And with that idea in place, a lot of people are thinking of, there's a lot of discussion that took place last night about who would we want to come back? What if Izzy comes back? What if Cameron comes back? What if Hassam comes back? Who would you want? Who would you not want? Who would we immediately put back on the block? Who would we try to get as allies? A whole lot of those kind of conversations. All right, we got Jared and Sari checking in with each other. Jared, remember I said I'm pretty sure that Cameron's going home. I stand by that, but that doesn't mean the discussions haven't been had. Jared's wondering if maybe they could sell everyone on keeping Cameron, if maybe there is a path that would work to their benefit. Sari doesn't think that they've got the votes necessarily to do so, but they're still counting the votes just to see if there's a possibility to do it. They're figuring that if they did do that kind of flip at this minute, they would lose Matt and Jag and Blue. They'd lose all trust with them. So they recognize there's certainly a price to be paid if they tried to do a flip like this, and it may not work. And because of that, I don't see them pushing. They're going to see the writing on the wall. All right, we've got Blue and America talking. We've got a new Final Two alliance. Yes, indeed. Blue and America spend a little time talking, a shared bond of they're both in showmances. They're talking about both being in showmances and that people think they're only there for the guys. But in reality, they're both playing the game. Guys are just the extra little bit there, that they're playing the game to win. They've decided that since they're both in showmances, they're friends with each other, they trust each other, that they're just going to go ahead and create a Final Two. They've named this Final Two the Sirens. Yeah, so welcome aboard, Sirens, and a Final Two. Does Blue believe in this Final Two? I think she may. Does America? I'm not so sure America's actually as on board as Blue is. We'll see, though. They probably will be watching out for each other for a while. I don't think it'll last forever, but short term, it may work to their advantage. They're talking about the fact they're both in showmances and all that. Now, they are revealing some information. America is revealing Corey's Final Four deal with Corey and Izzy and Cirie and Jared. So she's pointing that out as her showmance guy was in this. Well, Blue's surprised because you mentioned those four names. Guess who's not in those four names? Blue isn't, but Jared is. And remember, they already had an argument about this where Jared was in alliances that he didn't tell Blue about. She wasn't happy with it. Jared did a little bit of apologizing, a whole lot more deflecting during that conversation. But now she's finding out that yet another alliance that he's a part of that she isn't. So Blue's a little bit surprised. Blue is turning around telling America, saying, well, I've got a final three with Jared and Cirie. So, yeah, I'm kind of supposed to be in with them as well. But I think Blue may understand that she potentially is the third wheel in that particular alliance, which she is. All right. It appears that the original feeds cut was a false alarm. Now we've got another feed cut. And this time it does seem like it's a halfway party celebrating 50 days in the house. Took place right around the TV episode showing as well. Just from my own experience, when you have that 50-day party, you get all kinds of pizzas. They bring out about 10 pizzas, all different types. They play a lot of music. Since the feeds are cut, everyone gets to sing along, just enjoy everything. They have some alcohol. They bring out a cake, and everyone's picture is on the cake, so everyone gets their little piece with their picture. I know during my season, after we got through eating, they cut up all the cakes, so everyone had their own little slice with their picture on it. Kat got mad because overnight someone ate the piece of cake with her face on it and it disappeared. So yeah, well, I don't remember seeing the cake last night, but I'm pretty sure they had the cake with everyone's photos on it, which was kind of cool. They're celebrating 50 days in the house. They're halfway there. There's still 10 people in that house, right? It's gonna be a long season. All right, we had after that. Eventually, the feeds do come back. We've got Corey and Matt talking. Corey is telling Matt that Cirie and he had talked, and Cirie swore up and down that if she wins HOH, she is not going to put up Corey or America. That she's going after the floaters instead. And Corey's thinking that could be Nicole and Bowie Jane and Felicia, perhaps. Corey also thinks that Cirie is lying, and there's no way that she wouldn't put up Corey and America, or at least one or the other. That this other stuff it's just her blowing smoke. That yes, she's coming for him, but she has sworn up and down that she's not, and that she hadn't made that promise to anyone else except for America and Corey. I don't believe it either. All right, Corey is talking to Matt some more, telling Matt that, look, if Cirie wins, you're going to have some work to do. She feels like she's tight with you. She's not going to listen to us, but you've got some work to do to talk to her. Corey is saying that he had told Cirie earlier the people that he felt closest to was obviously America and Jag, because Jag had just used the veto on him. But other than that, really no one at all. He's certainly not going to mention Matt because they're trying to portray that he and Matt are on the outs with each other. Matt is going to talk to Cirie, and he says he's going to tell Cirie that Corey and America really are alone, that they don't really have anyone supporting them right now. In other words, try to make it look as much as possible like they aren't part of any big group, that they're just little old American Corey. They're not a threat to anyone else. So Matt is going to talk to Cirie and kind of push that message along. Matt is agreeing that if he wins HOH, that of course he's going after Jared and Cirie. He's saying Jag is going to do the same thing. And Corey, responding to what Cirie had said about she's going for floaters, Corey said, I'm not going for floaters, and I'm not going for it. He's going for Jared and Cirie as well. And I think all three of them actually will if they win the HOH. All right, we got Corey talking about how much Jared hates America, how much he used to tell Corey that he wanted America and Jag out the door. They were his two big targets. So he's making sure that they understand that Jared is very much still a threat to their side of the house. There is talk again about a potential battle back. And if that was the case, they probably need to put Cameron up against Cirie at that point in time, make sure one of those two go home. All right, we've got America and Corey talking. America's reporting that Blue had said that she wouldn't put up Jared or Cirie if she wins HOH. We'd heard that previously as well. She did not mention the alliance. Blue and America both said, we're not telling the guys. This is just between us, this final two. And America's staying true to it. She has not told Corey. But she does say that Blue had said she wouldn't put up Jared or Cirie. Corey's saying, yeah, it's not great to be said. Blue HOH is still much better than a Cirie HOH. And so we've got that. Now the thing is, Blue's probably throwing this HOH anyway. She'd already talked about that she wanted to do it. Have things changed? Maybe. I still think she's throwing it. All right, Matt is or more talk about possible battle back. We're going to leave that alone because I don't think if it happens, it's just going to be the two folks for tonight. But I don't see it. All right, and then more talk about the transmission, the message they received. Corey is saying he thought he had it figured out until Nicole had started talking about zombies and a possible battle back. So they're still a little bit in the dark with it. There was talk even about tonight's HOH being something that's going to take place completely in the dark, in the nether regions, perhaps. Maybe it's time to have something, a dark and type competition, but it's being a double. I think it's going to be fast. Maybe that's the other HOH that'll take place later this evening after the episode airs. I don't know. All right, we've got Matt and Jag and America talking. Corey's in the diary room, so he had to leave for a little while. Matt's complaining about Blue, saying, us four, we're having to do all the dirty work. Blue's just sitting there not getting any blood on her hands at all. America's saying that she just doesn't trust Blue, saying that Blue was a double agent last week. Why should we assume that she's trustworthy now? Jag is saying that Blue has been playing a very selfish game. Jag's also saying that Felicia had asked if Blue maybe knew about last week's plan to actually vote out Felicia before they flipped it. And Jag says, based on the way Felicia was talking, it sounds like Felicia thinks that Blue did know about the plan. So in other words, they're really throwing Blue under the bus quite a bit during this particular conversation. All right, we've also got Jag talking to America, saying that if it's just the two of them at the end or just their little group, he's going to throw the HOH to America. He would rather have her win HOH because then, well, he didn't say this, but then that lets him play HOH the following week, which I think is pretty important. But more than that, or at least in addition to that, he tells her if he throws it to her, then if Jared and Cirie are on the block, either one of them gets house guest choice. They'll likely pick Matt or Jag to compete as their champions in the veto competition. And so it works better to their benefit to make sure that those two stay on the block by throwing it to America. And I'm sure America is just fine with that. All right, America is warning Matt and Jag that Blue had said that Jag was worried about Matt and Jag being so close to each other. So she's just giving them a heads up on that Jared has noticed that. Jag is saying, look, Jared and Cirie have been blaming everything on Izzy. They're trying to deflect. They're trying to make it look like they had nothing to do with anything that's happened in this house so far. He says, I'm not buying it. We know where we're going with this next HOH. All right, finally, we've got Matt and Jag alone. They're talking about their chances to win this HOH, and Matt says something about, speed, you win. Physical, I win. Mental, Corey or America wins. Between the four of them, they feel like they've got a huge advantage over Cirie on the other side in terms of this HOH. Yeah, I think so. But sometimes, especially these quick little HOHs like we have as part of a double, they can be somewhat random. Don't ever assume that someone doesn't have a chance to win one of these things. And that's certainly their worst case situation. All right, we've got America and Corey in bed talking a little bit more. America's wanting to know. America wants to know another word that she could use for asshole that she could say. And I think she's talking about live TV during her eviction speech, which makes me think this could be a very interesting eviction speech that the America is planning for this evening, because she wants to know what else she could possibly use. Corey throws out the word scallywags, which I love the word scallywag. It's my word of the day, scallywags. America thinks that's kind of lame, so she's trying to come up with other alternatives. I'd love to see scallywags used this evening. But yeah, it sounds like the eviction speech could be interesting this evening. That will make it a little bit more fun. Now, with the double, if it's already announced it's a double, I don't know. It's going to be a fun episode. All right, Corey is thinking that they're talking about this leak to Cirie, and I think it's about the vote of getting out Jared. I think that's what they're referencing. They didn't say specifically, but they're talking about the source of the leak. And Corey is saying, yeah, I've been kind of trying to say Bowie Jane and all. He says, I kind of think it was maybe Matt that leaked it to Cirie. It's entirely possible Matt's been giving a lot of information to Cirie here lately. I think he's on board to get out Matt, Jared, and Cirie. I don't question his loyalty, but he has been giving Cirie a bit of information. Corey's worried about that, thinking that Matt could be the source of that leak. They're not going to do anything about it right now. They talk about maybe they'll talk to Matt after the HOH and just see what exactly he did tell Cirie. Probably a lot of that conversation will depend on who goes out this evening, as it turns out. All right, and then finally we got Corey saying that Bowie Jane isn't super open with certainly them, with anyone as far as he knows, but he's pretty sure that she wants Jared or Cirie out as well, so she should be on board with them as well. And then finally, a little kissing, because it wouldn't be a day in the Big Brother house without a little makeout session from Corey and America. So a little kissing before they call it an evening. Lights out for everyone around, I don't know, 12:30 or so Big Brother time, 2:30 Houston time. Everyone trying to get their sleep. It's going to be a big day. They don't know how big a day it truly is going to be today, but they're getting ready for that. And there you have it, guys. So in summary, the main thing, I fully expect Cameron to go home this evening. I then fully expect that the likelihood is that Jared follows Cameron right out the door behind him, unless something happens with the veto. That is the plan in place for the majority of the house. Jared's gonna have to win a competition this evening, or Cirie's gonna have to win a competition, or their game is quickly gonna be in all kinds of trouble. So guys, y'all have a fantastic Thursday. I love Eviction Thursdays. It's always fantastic. Have a great Thursday. By tomorrow morning, we'll know 2 people who have been kicked out of the house, at least evicted. We'll see if they're kicked out or not, but 2 people evicted. We probably will also know who the HOH is going forward for the week. So a lot of information to talk about tomorrow. So get ready for it. Until then, guys, enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy tonight's episode. I'll be back tomorrow morning to give you another recap. Until then, SKD143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.